Okay, Madam Chairwoman, you can see that it says live on YouTube at the top of your screens, I think.
Yep,
and
gotcha.
We
We're
are
all set.
now streaming. You are ready to go.
Okay. Good evening. I'd like to call the Zoning Board of Appeals meeting for the City of Everett on this Monday, July 6th at 7 p.m. Before I begin going over the rules and the procedures of our meeting, I'm going to read Governor Baker's declaration of public health regarding the pandemic. In response to Governor Baker's declaration of a public emergency and the related emergency executive order dated March 12, 2020, the Everett Zoning Board of Appeals shall be meeting remotely until further notice. The audio conferencing application Zoom will be used for this purpose. An online link and telephone access number will be provided on all meeting agendas and also on the city's website. No in-person attendance of members of the public will be permitted, but every effort will be made to ensure that the public can adequately access the proceedings in real time via technological means. In the event that we are unable to do so, despite best efforts, we will post on the city's website an audio or video recording, transcript, and other comprehensive record of proceedings as soon as possible after the meeting. This application will permit the public to access and participate in future board meetings and hearings. Instructions for joining meetings in this manner will be provided on the city and city clerk's websites. We extend our thanks for your understanding and participation in this manner, which is intended to keep members of the board and the public safe. So now I'm going to begin just reviewing the procedures for tonight's meeting. And so at this time, I'm going to explain, and I will read the petitions. The petitioner will state his or her reasons for requesting the variance or special permit. After the petitioner states why they want the variances and permits, I will open the board up for public hearing, and at that time, all those in favor or opposed will have an opportunity to come in through our live stream and present or speak as to why they are in favor or opposed to the meeting. At that time, I will probably close the public hearing piece, and the petitioner will have the right to rebut any opposition. Oh, and also I forgot, if you have any emails or anything that should have been sent, petitions, signed, signatures, anything like that for opposing, you would present them to the board at the end of the public hearing before the petitioner has the right to rebut any petition or any opposition. It takes 4 yes votes in favor to be granted a variance or a special permit. At this time, I'd like to ask the clerk to introduce the board.
Yes.
Just go whatever order you want, Roberta.
She's on mute.
Oh, are you on mute, Roberta? We can't hear you.
Sorry. John Fraser,
Yeah.
Roger Thistle,
Yep.
Paul Colometta,
Yeah.
Michael Dantone,
Here.
and Chair Lady, Mary Grassi.
I'm here, and I'd like to introduce our clerk for tonight, Roberta Super. Okay, at this time, it's the petitioner present. I'm going to read the agenda and a brief outline of all your variances and permits and your requests.
Mary,
Yep.
is this the time I should
Yes, Mike,
recuse
you should
myself?
do that right now.
Okay, members, I need to recuse myself because I happen to live at this property, but I will be on monitoring.
And just so you know, Mike is allowed to speak as a resident and an abutter to this project. He's able to speak on behalf or opposing in the public forum only. So that's why he's going to remain unmuted in case he feels he wants to speak in the public forum, okay? All right, so at this time, it's going to be petition number 2474, Regency Condo of Everett Association, variance regarding 881 Broadway, Everett, Mass. 02149. Reason for denial, the applicant seeks to construct a rooftop telecommunications facility. Okay. You have requested that a building permit be issued in accordance with the appropriate provisions of the City of Everett zoning ordinances Appendix A. For the reasons outlined below, your request for such permit is respectfully denied. You have the right to request the issuance of a variance from the Zoning Board of Appeals in compliance to the City of Everett zoning ordinance Appendix A and with MGL 40A in 10. Property address 881 Broadway, map and parcel is capital N 0-06-000154. Property owner, Regency Condo of Everett Association, 881 Broadway, Everett, Mass. 02149. Person requesting Centerline, 750 West Main Street, Suite 301, West Bridgewater, Mass. 02767. Reason for denial. Permit was denied in accordance to the City of Everett zoning ordinance. The applicant seeks to construct a rooftop telecommunications facility. Violations. The use of a telecommunications is not permitted in this zoning district. Zoning, Section 4, dwelling districts. A, uses. Uses within any dwelling district as indicated on the zoning map. No building, structure, or premises shall be used, and no building or structure shall be erected which is intended or designed to be used in whole or in part for any industry, trade, manufacturing, or commercial purposes, or for other than the following specific purposes. 1, a single or double semi-detached dwelling existing at the time of the first enactment of the zoning ordinance may be converted to provide not more than a total of 3 dwelling units, provided that the following standards are met. Any addition shall comply with the front, side, and rear yard requirements and height limitations of the zoning ordinance. Where the existing building is already non-conforming, any alteration shall not increase the existing non-conformity. Parking in accordance with the zoning ordinance shall be provided for any additional dwelling units. 2, the offices of a doctor, dentist, or other member of a recognized profession, teacher, or musician residing on the premises, provided there is zero display or advertising except for a small professional nameplate. 3, customary home occupations such as dressmaking or millinery, or the leasing of rooms or the taking of boarders, conducted by owner occupants only, provided there is no display or advertising visible from outside except for an announcement card or sign of not more than 2 feet square area, and that such uses be confined to not over 1/3 of the total floor area occupied by each family. 4, schools, except private vocational schools, public libraries, fire stations, art museums, churches, parish houses, and Sunday school buildings, membership clubs, and social and recreational buildings and premises, park, water supply reservations, soldiers and sailors, memorial buildings, except those chief activities of which is one customarily carried on as a gainful business. 5, real estate signs referring only to the premises or tract on which they are located and having an area not exceeding 8 square feet. 6, truck gardens and greenhouses, provided that any greenhouse heating plant shall be distant not less than 20 feet from any street or lot line. 7, hospitals, not for the insane or feeble-minded, provided that no building be within 30 feet of any street or lot line. 8, public or charitable institutional buildings not of a correctional nature, providing that no building thereon be within 30 feet of any street or lot line. 9, railroad or street railroad passenger stations or rights of way, including customary accessories, services therein, not including switching, storage, or freight yards or sidings. 10, cemeteries, including any crematory therein, which is not within a distance of 30 feet of any street or lot line. 11, telephone, central buildings without garages or yards for service or storage. 12, a garage in which no business, service, or industry is conducted is permitted, but only on the same lot with a principal building to which it is accessory. On any such lot, such garage space may be provided for 2 motor vehicles and for 1 additional motor vehicle for each 2,000 square feet, by which an area of the lot exceeds 3,000 square feet. However, garage space for 1 motor vehicle may be provided in any case for each family for which residence is arranged on the lot. Not more than 1 such vehicle shall be a commercial vehicle, and it shall not exceed 2 1/2 tons capacity. In such a garage, space shall not be leased to non-residents for a commercial vehicle, nor for more than 1 vehicle of any kind of each resident on the lot. Such a conforming garage may be erected on the lot previous to the erection of a principal building on the same lot, but where thus erected earlier than the principal building, the garage shall be so placed on the lot as not to prevent the eventual practicable and conforming location of the principal building. Community or group garages, which may be permitted on the otherwise vacant lot, shall only be permitted in the dwelling district upon the grant of a special permit by the Zoning Board of Appeals. There shall be no service for gain to other the owners or tenants of such garages. No such garage shall conduct a repair shop. Ordinance of 429/91. 13, agriculture, horticulture, or floriculture, and the expansion of reconstruction of existing structures there on the primary purpose of agriculture, horticulture, or floriculture. Ordinance of 429/91. 14, temporary mobile home placed on the site of a residence destroyed by fire or other holocaust for the purpose of providing temporary shelter while the residence is being rebuilt, but not to exceed 12 months. Ordinance 429/91. 15, the following uses shall only be permitted in the dwelling district upon the grant of a special permit by the Zoning Board of Appeals. A, uses whether or not on the same parcel as activities permitted as a matter of right accessory to activities permitted as a matter of right, which activities are necessary in connection with scientific research or scientific development or related production. The Zoning Board of Appeals may grant such permit provided that it finds that the proposed accessory use does not substantially derogate, sorry about that, from the public good. B, community or group garages which may be permitted on an otherwise vacant lot. There shall be no service or for gain or to other than the owners or tenants of such garages. No such garages shall conduct a repair shop. 16, open air markets of any type shall be prohibited. The sale of used household goods by residential occupants on their premises, normally referred to as garage sales, shall be allowed, providing that such sale not continue for a period of more than 7 days in any year, except by special permit of the Zoning Board of Appeals. Ordinance of 429/91. 17, conversion of dwelling. No new dwelling unit created by the conversion of an existing dwelling shall be permitted unless the requirements of minimum lot area and off-street parking are satisfied for all dwelling units in existence and proposed in the dwelling after the conversion or enlargement. Ordinance 2-046 of October 22, 2003. Building inspector's signature, Michael P. Desmond. So that's the end of that. At this time, are the petitioners present?
Yes,
Okay, would you like to present your petition at this time?
sure. Madam Chairwoman and members of the board, thank you very much for your time this evening. Can everyone hear me okay? Great. My name is Michael Dolan, and I'm an attorney from the law firm of Brown Rudnick, here on behalf of New Singular Wireless PCS LLC, more commonly known as AT&T. My client has FCC licenses to operate a wireless network throughout the Commonwealth of Massachusetts and throughout the country. As part of the continued build out of its network, AT&T is seeking to install a wireless antenna facility on the roof of the 4-story building at 881 Broadway. The facility will help fill a capacity and coverage gap as demonstrated in the radio frequency engineer's report and coverage maps included with our application. Specifically, there is inadequate network service available to existing and proposed AT&T customers in the following areas and city roads, including but not limited to Broadway, Bryan Street, Chute Street, and the surrounding roads, businesses, and neighborhoods. So AT&T is proposing to install here 3 arrays of 3 antennas each for a total of 9 panel antennas on ballast mounts on the roof of the existing building. The antennas will be connected by cables connecting to equipment cabinets and remote radio units and surge arresters located on the roof of the building. The proposed facility will also include a small generator to ensure the continued operation of the facility in the event of an emergency situation causing a loss of power. We've included with our application photo simulations which demonstrate the negligible visual impact of the proposed facility. And what we're proposing to do here is use some new technology. As you can see in the photo simulations, it's called Obscure Tech, and it's a type of wrap that can be placed on top of all the equipment and support hardware, including the antennas. And it helps to minimize the visual impact of the antennas and related equipment. Essentially, the wrap causes these features to blend in with the color of the sky. And it's been used successfully on projects throughout the country and on university campuses. UMass wanted to shroud some air conditioning units on the roof of their building. This wrap was put on. It looks fantastic. So it's a nice development in the wireless industry that there is this ability to further try to camouflage our infrastructure. No trees, vegetation, or other landscape features will be cut or removed in connection with the installation of this facility. Now, from a land use planning perspective, we're very pleased that we're able to find this existing structure within the area that we need to fill RF coverage. And by finding this existing structure, we were thus able to avoid having to propose building a new structure or a telecommunications tower, which obviously would be much more visually intrusive. This, as noted, the subject building is located within the dwelling zoning district where wireless communications uses are prohibited. And as such, we are seeking a use variance tonight. We do believe that the variance is appropriate in this instance because of the unique features of this building within the limited search ring or search area that the RF engineers identified for us to locate a location in which antennas could be installed to fill the gap in coverage. Now, the top roof level height of the existing building is 42 feet, and the top height of AT&T's proposed antennas is 54 feet. The height limit in the dwelling district is 45 feet, and thus we are seeking a dimensional variance for that extra 7 feet as well. I'll be glad to take some answers in a bit, but I just wanted to turn it over right now to AT&T's radio frequency engineer, Sohail Husami, who introduced himself previously. I'll let him do it again, but he works for C Squared, which is the RF consulting company for AT&T. Sohail?
Thanks, Mike. Sohail Usmani, for the record again. I'm going to try and share my screen, so please bear with me. Please let me know when you can see it.
We can see it.
All right, great. So I'm going to go over the RF report. It's a long report, so I'll go on the main pages and main key elements of why this site and how it helps in providing relief to the existing sites in the neighborhood, as well as adding additional coverage in the area. So I'll just first go over to, on this page, I think it's, I can't see the page numbers here, 10 of 17. The map shows the sites that are around the site, and it shows the radii of the sites that are surrounding the proposed location. Proposed location is this blue star, which is MA2916. And you see 3 sites in this view that are in Everett. It's MA2230, MA2893, and MA2061. The addresses of these locations are given in a table up here. So if anybody's interested in knowing where those exact locations are, I wanted to bring these sites up because, as Mike also said, that this is our proposed location is an existing structure, which is a rooftop building. And if you look at this table, all the other sites in Everett are rooftop locations. So here, here, and here. All 3 locations are rooftop buildings. before I explain to you what's going on in the attachments on the maps, I just want to brief you that AT&T has different frequency bands that they operate on. They are 700 megahertz, 850 megahertz, 1900 PCS, and there's also a couple of other higher bands, AWS, which is 2100, and the WCS goes into 2300. Mainly they deploy the 700 megahertz and 1900 megahertz. What that does is the two different frequency bands is that it shares the amount of traffic that is being carried by a cell site. A cell site being the transmitter location, or in this case, the proposed location, if approved and built, it would become a site. So each site is equipped with equipment that can cater for different technologies. Those being GSM is not prevalent anymore, but UMTS, LTE, and in the future 5G. And along with that, along with different technologies, there's also the ability of using different spectrum. So there's, as I mentioned, 700, 800, 1900, and there's about 5 different carrier frequency bands. Why these are essential, especially in an area like Everett, which is a very densely populated area, heavily built, a lot of road traffic as well as business and residential traffic. The data rate or the traffic that is flowing into each base station or the site, it gets congested, and then the need arises to deploy more base stations or sites. So having explained somewhat the different technologies and the spectrum, this first map shows the green color and the yellow color. The green represents the 700 megahertz, which has a bigger footprint, and the yellow represents the 1900 megahertz. 700 being a lower frequency has a wider footprint. That's why you see it's like the 1900 is a subset of, the yellow is a subset of the green, which is 1900 is a subset of 700. So this is existing coverage that you see right now around this site. Next slide shows you what the coverage would look like with the introduction of the proposed location. So you can see it fills in a lot of the areas that were previously green are now yellow, and then the white spaces that were there are filled in by the proposed location. So these are 2 thresholds. If anybody's interested, I can explain the other 2 plots, but they are pretty much similar coverage plots at different thresholds. And then this one shows you must be wondering, okay, there is, from this map, you can argue that, okay, you have coverage. I'm sorry about the delay. You have green areas covered here around the site, and why do you need the site? And the map that I want to take you to shows you the impact that the site has in a different color. So here's what's existing right now. So this red represents the area currently covered by another site. Yellow is covered by alpha sector of this site location, which is an Everett site. Red is coming from here. And you go to the next slide and you see that it's taken over by the green, which is our proposed site. And it offloads a lot of what this 2053 and 2230 and 2210 are covering right now. So, you know, it's a great location because it sits centrally to providing relief as well as adding coverage to the surrounding neighborhoods and you know, residences and businesses and you know, the street, the car vehicular traffic. If anybody has any questions, please feel free to ask. Otherwise, you know.
So the way the protocol would be, sir, is that the board asks the questions after the public hearing, and then you have an opportunity to answer and respond to the public. And then once that's completed, I'll open up questions to the board to ask you questions. Okay?
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
So at this point, I do want to just summarize that, you know, Sohail and obviously those materials were all in our application package, but there is a demonstrable gap in coverage in this area of Everett. This site really perfectly helps fill that coverage gap. I think some of you may have been on the board a year ago when our application came before you to go on the Pope John High School rooftop. Unfortunately, the school closed and the Archdiocese wanted to go in another direction to preserve their opportunities to do different things. So we were forced to move somewhere else. Interestingly enough, the night of that hearing, a number of people came up to me and said, you know, there's a great building across the street that has comparable height and could provide the same type of coverage. And it worked out great that we were able to contact the landlord, and we had a willing landlord. I would point out that, as I mentioned previously, this building is of a really good height in this area. Yes, there are a couple other locations that have a similar height, but the search area that we were targeting, there's a dearth of opportunities, and this building was really fortuitous for us to find. So we're very pleased about that. It'll clearly help out with residential cell phone traffic, commercial, and obviously 911 public safety. So we're really excited about this site, and that's all we have for our presentation right now.
Okay, thank you very much. So at this time, I'm going to ask that you take down the center screen here so we can see when the public, if anyone from the public comes in, we can have access to seeing who it is. Thank you. At this time, I'm going to open it up to the public hearing. So Mr. Soper, is there anybody out there looking to come in and speak?
Madam Chairwoman, I have nobody waiting at this point outside of the room to be let in.
Okay. Before I continue to call all those opposed or all those in favor, do you guys have any letters or emails in favor or in opposition to send in? The petitioners or anything?
Are you directing that to the applicant?
Yes, I am. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, we have no other supplemental information to.
Okay, then I'm gonna just call another time. All those in favor? Mr. Soper, just let me know if anyone comes in. I'm just going through the motion right now. Again, anyone in favor? And anyone in favor? So there's nobody sitting in the waiting room for anyone in favor. I'm gonna ask anyone opposed. Mr. Soper, is anyone opposed? Anyone sitting in the waiting room?
No, Madam Chairwoman, there is nobody.
And the last call, anybody opposed? So at this time, there has been no public comment, so I'm gonna close the public comment portion of this meeting. And I'm just ask the petitioner one last time before I open it up to the board. Is there anything else you'd like to add or clarify?
No, thank you, Madam Chairwoman.
Okay, at this time, I'm going to open up questions from the board.
I had one question, but Attorney Dolan answered it. It was regarding if it was the same tower that we approved on the Pope John building. So my question's been answered.
Okay, and I had a question was, I know that we extended, the last time you came, we had extended it for a little bit of research regarding radiation and precautions in giveaway. And Mr. Dolan, could you just explain, because I know you've already been through this, so I don't want you to have to go through it again, what you're doing to protect the neighborhood?
Absolutely. So, just from the outset, I will say that this facility will comply with all city, state, and federal guidelines regarding radio frequency emissions. I would direct the board to tab number 10 as well, which is a radio frequency predictive emissions analysis that was performed for the proposed facility.
Yes.
Of particular note is page 7. And at the bottom there's a conclusion that at the ground level, the maximum composite power density for all system operators on this facility is 0.22% of the FCC's general population limit for exposure to radio frequency emissions. Essentially, the emissions from this proposed facility to those in the surrounding area is only 0.2% of the FCC allowable limit. So clearly it's but a small fraction of what the FCC would allow. And of course, if there were any contractors working at the site, there are occupational safety protocols that are followed. We'll have appropriate signage in the event that anyone is up there. So it's not just the residents, we'll also protect anyone up there working on the installation.
Yeah, that the signage will definitely be a condition if we were to approve it.
Okay.
Appropriate safety signage
Sure.
would definitely have to be up there. That's clearly visible in case, God forbid, a resident ends up there and they don't know what it is.
Absolutely. And the report that we've affixed to our application does point out what that type of signage should look like and where it should be placed. And we would follow those guidelines in order to adhere to the city RF emissions compliance request.
Yes, perfect. Okay, thank you. Any other questions from the board at this time?
All set.
All set. So at this time, I'd like to request somebody make a motion for favorable action, including a condition that safety signage, according to the guidelines of all guidelines of city, state, and FCCC are clearly visible on the roof deck.
Anyone? I'll do it.
Go ahead, Roger. Thank you.
All right. So I'd like to make a favorable motion with the signage from the state, federal regulations in regards to the signage on the building.
Okay, and that would be the safety signage.
Safety signage on the roof for anyone that has access to the roof.
I'll second that.
We have a motion for favorable action that has a condition with the safety signage for all tenants and anyone that enters the rooftop, according to the state, federal, and FCC guidelines, that they're clearly marked and visible. And it has been seconded. At this time, I'd like to ask the clerk to call the roll.
Don Fraser,
Yes.
Roger Thistle,
Yes?
Paul Colometta,
Yes.
and Mary Jarossi.
Yes. So you have been granted your variance tonight, and you have to wait 20 days for them to file the paperwork. I'm going to tell you straight up, though, because of the governor's the pandemic, I'm not sure, we're in between right now of starting the 20 days and not starting the 20 days. So Roberta, the clerk, will definitely include you all of the details, anything that's been changed or may not have been changed, and when it gets filed and when you can start your work.
Sure, we understand that it's a difficult time. Thank you very much.
It is. And on Zoom is even more difficult. But,
Yeah, that's right.
you know, but this was a great project last time, and we wish you the best of luck with this one, and that it works out great with your. You're in a great building, so it should work out well.
Thank you all very much, and I hope you all stay safe and healthy.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good night.
Well, thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Have a great night. At
Thanks,
this
Mike.
time, I'd like to ask the board to remain on so we can finish our business. And after we finish our business, I just want to talk about summer scheduling, okay?
Madam Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to accept the meetings from our last meeting, from the minutes from our last meeting.
Anyone want to second that?
Roger Thistle, second that.
We have a motion made to accept the minutes from the last meeting and it has been seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, I guess. Is that me? Okay, at this time, staff communications, does anybody have anything regarding this meeting or any other meeting that they need to talk about?
Nope.
Okay,
Thank you all. That's what I have to say.
you're welcome, Mr. Danto. At this time, maybe we can adjourn the meeting, but then stay on just to talk about summer scheduling.
Mary, when's the next meeting?
So that's what, so why don't we, all right, so the next meeting is July 20th.
Yeah.
And that day, we had said that we were all able to make it. I think we have one petition.
Yes, we do.
Paul Delory has a petition. My question,
No, it's not. I don't think it's Paul DeWitt.
oh, it's not Paul?
Summer
Okay.
Street, I believe.
Okay, I didn't
What
see.
street, I'm sorry?
42 May Street is,
Main Street.
was supposed to be on it too, but it's got changed to
Okay,
August 3rd because of,
I'm away, but if we're on Zoom, that's not a problem.
so August 3rd is the one meeting I was a little concerned about. I'll be away. I'm not sure what my reception on Cape will be like. Sometimes it's great and sometimes it's horrible.
Yeah.
So I'm a little concerned about chairing a meeting on Monday, August 3rd. That was one, Roberta, I spoke to you about maybe changing.
Mhm.
I don't know, what does everybody else have? So the rest of the meetings for the summer are July 20th, August 3rd, and August 17th. I was thinking about maybe combining August 3rd and 17th to the 17th or another date, but that's up to you guys and what your meeting, what your schedule for the summer is.
I'm good for all dates. I mean, is there only one petition on the 3rd?
there is, so far, there is one petition.
No, the one was for the July, wasn't it?
No, we had two petitions for July 20th.
Okay.
42 May Street in 58 Summer. But 42 May Street had to go to the August 3rd because the publication in the paper was wrong. They made a mistake. So we had to take the publication out and put that meeting on the 3rd so we can republish it. So if you want to combine them, I can call Paul Delory and tell him that it'll be August 17th. So far, we only have one for the 3rd, but they have till July 9th at 7:30 to come in with an application.
We have 3 days, really.
Yeah, so
Right.
I'm expecting one to come in. It's 168, 166, 168 School Street, I think, I'm not even sure. So we'd make it only be two for the 17th unless something comes in, for the deadline for the 17th.
So here's my concern. Paul, I know for a fact that Paul Delory on August 3rd, if something happens and I can't communicate, he's not gonna want to go for 4 people and he's not gonna go for unanimous and he's gonna want to
I can
table.
call him tomorrow.
So I'm thinking,
It got set back once because
John
of,
and Paul, how are you guys with August 17th?
I'm good.
So we're all good. Roger, you're good?
Yeah,
John?
So why don't we do one meeting in August on the 17th?
that works.
That way, because
petitions can still come in, you know that, right? Because the,
Yes.
so
it may be more than two, but-
but whatever, we
Yeah,
might only have,
that's okay.
right, who
I mean,
knows?
I don't think we're gonna have 22 petitions.
No, no,
You know, maybe 3 or 4 at most. We'll be
right,
okay
oh,
with that.
yeah.
Okay.
Probably just two, whatever else comes in, it could be one or two more.
Yeah. Nope, that would be great, only because anyone that comes in on the 3rd and they see it's a unanimous vote, if I can't get in touch,
Okay,
you know.
I'll call Paul tomorrow, I can call Paul tomorrow and tell him, we're gonna push it back to the 17th.
Okay.
I just needed to know before I do all the publications and everything.
Absolutely, that's why I wanted to have this conversation with
Right.
everybody together.
Yep.
So we're gonna do one in July.
So the next meeting is July 20th, and everybody is good with that date?
Yes.
Okay, we have
Okay.
one, so it'll be quick, we'll see.
Yep, and then the next meeting is August 17th after that. So we have July 20th and August 17th.
I'm good with that.
Perfect.
Sean, are you good with that?
Yep.
Okay,
And you too, Mary, right? You'll be back, obviously.
Yeah, just August 3rd is, I'm just concerned.
Okay, I think we're in agreement then.
Yeah,
July 20th, I'm away, but if it's on Zoom, it's not a problem.
It'll be on Zoom.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going back, because even if we were to meet in the in the George Querian room, there's not enough space in there for the public to come in.
Right.
So either way, we can Zoom it probably, you know what I mean?
Okay.
What is the petition for 720? Roberta?
I think it's 58 Summer Street.
Okay.
It's, I want to say it's a driveway, something to do with a driveway.
They're adding an addition. I saw it in the Advocate.
Oh, you did? Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
they're looking
Can't
at
remember.
in a driveway and improve
It's
it.
a driveway, yeah.
It's within 8 feet of a window, an occupied window, so they need a variance.
Okay, all right. So that should be pretty, I don't know, cut and dry unless the neighborhood's involved.
Yeah.
And I want them to have
It's an
it.
existing driveway. I think he's looking to expand it and improve it.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right. So that's about it. Did everybody have a nice 4th?
very nice.
Yeah,
Good.
got all banged up.
A
No,
lot of fireworks in Everett, that's for sure.
Oh my God, there was so many. More than if
We
they
should
did.
have, we should have gone to Mount Rushmore.
It went for
My
2 hours.
neighborhood, that was so loud. It was the loudest I've ever heard it. Every
It was more than if the city just did their own at Glendale Park would have
That's
been easy.
exactly what happened.
Yeah, people took it amongst themselves to do it.
I think people just got mad that the powers that be tried to cancel 4th
Yeah.
of July.
Crazy.
'Cause it was everywhere you were, there were crazy fireworks. Yeah.
So Madam Chairman, at this time, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll second that motion.
We have a motion to adjourn the meeting and it has been seconded. All those in favor?
Now I'm gonna
Aye.
say,
Let
Roger,
it go, Paul.
Oh, Roger, could we do your little signature thing again?
Absolutely, yeah.
okay,
You're
I'll
the
send it.
best, Roger.
Sure, I know.
Perfect. You are the best with that, Roger. Thank you.
That's I'm in Long Island, Mike. I'm
Saves
jealous.
a lot of time.
It really does.
My pleasure.
It really does. Thank you.
Be driving around trying to get them all.
You guys are all invited to Aruba. Roberta just invited us all.
Oh, yeah?
When are you going, Roberta?
September.
September 20th, for 9 days.
That's
Hey,
a nice.
I'm teaching from home again. I might join you.
Oh,
Hey, listen, my birthday's the
my God,
28th. Let's go.
Go, do it, do it. Do it.
There it is.
You're gonna turn 50 finally, Michael?
Michael, who?
Michael Cantone.
I'm over 60, my friend.
Ah, there you go.
Sorry.
All right.
All right, so I guess we'll see everybody again on the 20th.
20.
Yep.
Sounds good to me. If you have any
Okay,
questions,
guys.
feel free to text or email.
Everybody stay safe and thank you.
You guys too. Have a good night. Bye.
Good night.
See you later.